Hey guys, in the previous sessions we learned about XPath and synchronization issues. Now let's apply whatever we learned into our project. So let's get our hands dirty. Let me go to login tests. All right. So here we have a login method. So let us move inside the login method and let's do a quick recap of what we are doing here, right? In fact, we are clicking on the sign in link in the login page of the UI, and then we are entering the email as the username and we are entering the password, and then we click on the sign in link, and then we are verifying the welcome message. So before verifying the welcome message, we added a 3 seconds delay. Why? Because there was a delay for the welcome message to appear on the screen. Okay, so we did a dirty fix. Okay, and we need to refactor this code. Okay, not only that, we learned that before performing any action on an element, we need to ensure that the element we are working with is interactable state. Okay, so take an example here. We are clicking on an element. Before performing this click, we need to ensure that this element is on a clickable states. So we'll be performing code refactoring, and we will ensure the synchronization throughout the code. So now let's create a feature branch and let's start working on it. So let me check out to the main branch first, and we need to update the project. All right. We are currently on a previous feature branch POM, and let me check out to main branch, check out. Here Git is showing a checkout problem. All right, let's read it out. Your local changes to the following files would be overwritten by checkout. IntelliJ IDEA can shell the changes, checkout, and unshell them after that. All right, so what happened is, like, when I was explaining about these theory sessions, accidentally, I made some changes. You can see that, so there are some changes in the login tests. Okay. In fact, we are in the previous feature branch POM, which we already merged into the main branch, right? So we don't need this feature branch anymore. So I don't worry about, whatever changes that I accidentally made in this POM feature branch. Okay. So we have different options here: force checkout, smart checkout, don't check out. These are different options. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do the force checkout. Okay, so let's try it out. So when you do the force checkouts, it's showing that the checkout and overwrite local changes, right? So we can overwrite the local changes. I don't want any changes in this POM branch anymore, because we already merged whatever that we need from the POM branch into the main branch. All right, so let's do the force checkout and let's see what happens. All right, so we did the force checkout. Now we are in main branch. Okay, and now it's time to update the project. Let's select update project, and let us get the latest and greatest code from the remote repository. So I'm gonna merge it and click OK, and our project is updated. Now the main branch in the local machine is updated. Okay, so whatever changes were merged into the main branch from the remote repository, everything is moved into our local machine. Now let's create a new feature branch. So let me click on new branch, and I'm gonna name it as synchronize, because we are going to implement the synchronization features, and I'm going to check out to this new branch. So in fact, this checkout branch option is checked, it's selected already, and let's click create button. Now we have created and checked out to synchronize branch, and now here let's start our work. Now let's create a new class, and we will handle all the UI operations over there, meaning the common operations like click, send keys, etc. in the new class. So let's go to the lib package, and here let's add a new class, and you can name the class as a page base, and this is going to be the base class for all the page classes. Okay, so let's create it, let's add it to Git, and then let me zoom it a bit. All right, so here for performing the operations on the UI, definitely you need the WebDriver here, right? So let's create the WebDriver object here first. Protected WebDriver and then driver. Okay. All right, so we will get the driver object over here. We will do that in a bit. And then let's go to our page class, that is login page, and let us derive the login page from the page base. All right, so let's go here, login page, and let's derive this class login page from the new class that we created, which is page base. All right, okay, now if you take a look at this, we are getting the driver object through the constructor of this class, right? So here in this constructor, in fact, we assign the driver object to the object variable which we declared here. Now we don't want this object variable driver, right? Because it's already there in the page base. We already created the driver object variable here in the page base. So we'll be using that. So let me get rid of this variable, and I'm gonna make a small change here. So instead of this dot driver, let's write it as super dot driver. So it's going to be very clear to everyone, right? So this driver is in the base class of login page. Okay, so we got the driver. Okay, let me get rid of that space here. All right, now we got the driver object available in the page base. Okay, we need to have a timeout for waiting for an element. Okay, so let us keep a constant for this wait. Okay, so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna write a new variable, private final int, and then timeout. All right, so usually whenever we declare some constant variables, we write it in the uppercase letters. Okay, so timeout, and let's make it as like maybe 5 seconds. Okay, so the maximum wait that we are defining is 5 seconds. Okay, we will be using this variable, this constant, in fact. Okay, now let us try with one method first, that is the click operation. Okay, so let's start with the click. So let's write a method, protected void click. All right, so whenever you need to perform a click from any of your page class, you will be invoking this click method. Okay, so you need the locator, right? So let's have the by object here. We'll be passing the by object here, and using this by object we'll be performing the click. All right, so the first thing that we have to do is defining a WebDriver wait here, right? So let's create an object of WebDriver wait, and then let's create an object, new WebDriver wait. All right, we need to pass two things into this. The first thing is the driver, and the second thing is the timeout value. Okay, so we'll say duration dot of seconds, and then you have to pass the seconds. So we have already defined the seconds here, right? So we can use this defined value, that is timeout. Okay, and then the next thing is waiting for the element. Okay, and then getting the element object. Okay, so let's have the web element object. All right, and then let's wait for that. So we'll be using the wait WebDriver wait object for that. Okay, so wait dot, and then you can use until. Okay, until what condition we have to wait, right? We can use the expected conditions class for that dot, and then we have to wait until the element to be clickable. Okay, because we are performing a click here, so until the element is in the clickable state, let us wait for that. All right, so which is the element we have to use? We have to refer the element by the locator, which is by. Okay, we are receiving the locator through this argument, right? Okay, so this will wait for the element to be in this particular state, and maximum timeout is 5 seconds. All right, So whenever the element reaches the clickable state, it will return the web element object, and then here using this object you can perform a click operation. All right. In case the element is not in clickable state within this timeout, then what happens? You will get a timeout error, timeout exception. Okay. All right. So now let's see how we can use this method. So let's go to login page class, and here now we have a click operation here, right? So instead of using this much, okay, instead of writing these lines, we can use our method. Okay, so that is click, and then we can give the locator, that is ln case id. Okay, so that can be passed here, and this will perform the click. Okay, so that we can get rid of these two lines. Okay, so what happens is, like, this method will take care of synchronization and it will perform the click as well. Okay, so likewise we'll be writing methods, common methods for all other operations, like send keys or whatever that we need. Okay.